That music just makes me happy.
I'm just. Did you record? Is that your voice?
It is not.
Oh.
It is not. I found it on YouTube Music Library.
Oh.
So it's, yeah.
I've been searching now for 5 years on YouTube Music Library for a piece of Irish music, sounding Irish vaguely, that is not so illegitimate I can't handle it. I've not been able to find anything.
Okay, I'm writing that down so that I can work on that for you, because
thank you.
I will do that. I do want to welcome everybody. This is Readings for Readers. Today I am joined by the amazing, I'm going to keep praising your general direction, so get ready. The amazing Irish Granny Helen. Her links are below. All of her links, including to Substack, etc., and so forth. Go over and subscribe to her channel. It's free to subscribe. You can join the membership, and that way you can get access to more cool stuff.
The membership is, only for the financially elite. It's 99 cents.
Oh, geez. Oh, well, I'm going to have to say to that, purchase responsibly, know your limits. We're here to share, not to sell.
That's right. This is not capitalist
this is
enterprise.
Not. Well, and I was just telling Helen, I watched a video that she did yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It was your last one on Stoicism.
It might have been yesterday or the day before, yeah.
Anyhow, I watched your last video on Stoicism, which was quite good, because guess what? This amazing person, Irish Granny Helen, does a lot of research.
I was going to say, who?
She does a lot of research, so we don't have to.
Yeah.
And presents it in such an important and helpful way.
Thank you.
So thank you. Thank you. By the way, I am Tarot Stash. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I am...
He's the one with the mustache.
I am the
At least
one with the mustache.
You can't see too close.
I'm the one with the mustache. And today... we're doing Readings for Readers. This is when I invite a fellow reader and we do a reading for each other about a topic. We do that reading in our own sweet little way, but we engage each other on it. So for those of you who, and I'll say this, for those of you who like to watch, this show is for you. You get to watch.
Are you talking about the new laws in Europe and France? They're having a huge scandal in France. It's got to do with the availability of certain kinds of movies to the underage, and regulating it. And there's a debate about how to regulate it. So now they're not available at all. There's an entire population in France who's in a bad way. Let's put it that way.
I see that. We got an ew from Mary. So,
Ew?
an ew. Ew. Mary. This, so, Helen, thank you for being here. Did you want to say anything to anybody since I've been...
Thank you for having me. I'll confess, when you first asked me, I thought we were going to read a book or something.
Yes.
Duh. Yeah. So this is exciting. I'm really looking forward to this. And just so people understand, I spent some time meditating about our friend here today, this morning, in preparation for this.
Okay.
So, to see if the cards validate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so this came up. This I think you and I had talked about this. It may have been on screen when we were doing our knitting together last week at this time. I have been experiencing what I'm referring to as a crisis of faith. Now, that name makes it sound bigger than what it is, but it's just this. There's a whole lot of stuff going on.
Don't say anything. Don't give me any hints.
I won't.
Okay.
There's just been a whole lot of stuff going on, and I've been doing some processing. And I came up with 4 or 5 prompts for reading. Helen is willing to allow me to do a reading on this topic with her. and she's going to do a reading on this topic for me. And as always, this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really.
I only ask that you be kind.
Oh, yes.
So, are you going to ask just the first general question? You sent me 4 questions. Are you going to ask each separately?
Well, this is the 4 questions that I have is, and these are going to be the layout I'm going to do for you. I am going to, by the way, I'm using my circle punched cards today.
It's going to be great.
And I'm going to switch my camera a little bit. Give me just a second, see if I can do this. And
this is Gerald flexing his technological expertise.
Yeah, that is completely what I'm doing, Helen. That is exactly what I'm doing. So I'm doing that, and you can sort of see me up there in the corner, right? Anyhow. So the first question, I don't know if you can see it. Well, you can't see it.
No, the writing, no.
Here, let's do this. Boom. So the first question is, what is the current state of my faith? And then, what has changed about my faith? What needs to change about my faith? And then if there is a need, there's a point of, do this and avoid this whilst growing and evolving. And then what is the future state of my faith? So, and I'm going to actually lay out 5. I'm going to do my cards in 5 positions, 1 for each of these, if that makes sense.
Now, are we both reading on each other and on our own selves?
I was planning on just reading for you.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that being said, I, by all means, welcome your interaction with what you're seeing my cards.
Oh, I mean, it's a dialogue. Absolutely.
Yes, it is. Well, and as a reader, that is extremely important for me. So.
Oh, no, for sure. And I think it's really important to get the feedback. It's the give and take. When I put down cards, I usually do a Celtic cross because, of course, I have to. To me, it's like chapters of a book. It's a narrative. Mm-hmm. And so it's a point of departure, and it requires some discussion and conversation. Yes. So, yeah, that's the best part.
So I am using my Circle Punch Rider Tarot deck. So it's this one, and then I have the punches from all of the 4 decks that I have circle punched, and so those will be inset into each one of the cards.
This is so great. I can't wait to see this.
So, now, spoiler alert, Maruda is expressed an interest in doing a show with me using these cards and talking about it. So she is on my list of people to contact because this is a fascinating concept. I love this.
It's a great, well, you showed me
mm-hmm.
I think last week or 2 weeks ago. And because I couldn't quite get what you were talking about, but it is similar to putting down a card and then putting a card in opposition on top of it. It's similar to that. Yeah.
Yes.
But it's more clever.
Yeah. Well, and for me, it's that, in the center of the Celtic cross, you have that card crossed by another. That creates the moment that the reading is about.
It's nuance.
Yes, it's definitely nuance.
Yeah.
So
and depending on who's reading it, it can be opposition to it, it can be augmenting it, or just more detail.
Yeah. And Mangled Unicorn, who's I think is Jacqueline, has said, I thought about it a lot. I've seen both sides, as in Christianity, Buddhism, and atheism. I don't know if spirituality needs to have a label for me, but I suppose I would use the word omnist.
So I love that, and I have to say something. Do you remember 2 minutes ago when we were talking about things appearing synchronously with synchronism,
Uh-huh.
and separate things presenting themselves to you at the same time, and how they always sort of support each other.
Mm-hmm.
That comment is in the context of us talking about grace versus karma, sin versus karma, rebirth versus purgatory. When we're having that conversation.
Yep. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I agree.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Mangled unicorn, is that?
Mangled unicorn. Yes, that's Jacqueline, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You know, if you take a Venn diagram of all the religions, they all meet in one little spot. Love one another. Everything else is noise.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, those, you know. Well, and you know, do all that you've agreed to do is one also that I've heard that is related to that. So yeah. So okay. So I'm going to shuffle my cards. I am going to try to do this little camera thing.
That's fine. You don't need to have my face there if you want to get the other.
I'm going to do it like that.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
So, and so that everybody can sort of see. And is there, when you are getting ready to do a reading, Helen, and by the way, I see more readers here. I saw Bobby come in. When you are doing a reading, is there a process that helps you get into the mood or into that moment?
Kind of.
That you're willing to share, I should say.
No, well, I'm an open book. I only do readings that I'm motivated to do. And I believe the motivation is kind of an external guidance. And therefore, I already know that this is something I need to do. And so I just focus on it. I think about it. And I guess what I'm saying is I have to feel it here. It introduces itself in my intuition and my gut. And so then I give it some thought and I do it. Yes,
that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Now I have a habit of a way I shuffle the cards. So, and I also have my incense lit. I'm wearing my necklace, which is a good grounding necklace for me. And I'm thinking about you and these questions.
God help you.
What is the current state of Helen's faith? What has changed about her faith? What needs to change about her faith? She should do this and avoid this. And what is the future of Helen's faith? And okay, so and Andrew has joined us, and see if that will help focus. You know, I did this all before. Screw it. I'm going to do this. So you're not going to be able to see all of them at once. Tough.
Oh, that's better. I think the issue was the light, and I think this is better.
Yeah. So, all right. So Helen's current state has changed. What needs to change? And then I'm going to wait to do the other two as needed. And Andrew wanted to know if you got his message.
Andrew, I've been recording all morning, so I haven't gotten really anybody's message. I'm sorry. I am not surgically attached to my phone, and I don't check it on the regularity that a lot of people do. I'm so sorry. Everyone's always mad at me about that, so I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But so my plan when we're done here is to catch up on all that.
Yeah. So I'm going in and I have all of these cards, these circle punches. And so I'm going in and I'm pulling for another layer of understanding. And
I love that design.
And these are all of these are from the Deviant Moon Tarot.
That's cool.
So, and okay, so we have here. This is where I need like music or something like that. You'd think I could do that. See if we could have, let me see if I can turn that light down. There, that's helpful. That's helpful. Okay, so this is what is the current state of Helen's faith? It is the 4 of Pentacles with the 10 of Swords embedded in it.
Okay.
So I would say part of this very much looks like you are trying to keep a solid foundation and keep your resources about you and your wits about you. But inside, you're much more panicked and overwrought than what you're putting. So, what's interesting is I'm wondering with this is, are you having digestive problems?
No.
Okay. Well, you don't need anybody and anything. You don't need anyone. Of course, you don't need anyone. But but your mind is always going, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting. This combination is really interesting. You're right. I'm trying to remain grounded, but at the same time, I'm internally trying to deal with what's going on in the world. I don't know if that is as much about my faith, religion, or do we should define our terms here? Are we talking faith in God, or faith in religion, or faith in a philosophy, or just humanity? Or
this is a very good question. It would probably have been better to start with that. The idea of faith is, the idea for me of faith is something that remains true and helps guide you and helps support you.
Okay.
I personally, I think I don't look at as a particular path as a current thing. I'm not one for religion. I'm more about the relationship with me and the divine or divinity and the greater picture.
Do you want feedback now, or do you want feedback later?
Whatever you want to do.
Well, I think this is very reflective of my current state, because I'm trying desperately to maintain a sense of optimism and faith in humanity, and it's being sorely challenged.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. And all the while, you're keeping yourself solid with these 4 of Pentacles, because you're not wasting anything, and you don't want to waste your energy because energy is a resource. And that's a really key thing. So, shall I move on to the next one? What is?
Yeah, this is so interesting.
Okay, so what has changed about Helen's faith? I'm going to scooch this one over a little bit. What has changed about Helen's faith is we have the Page of Cups with the 7 of Cups embedded into it. Interesting.
Okay, I totally see it.
So this is part of what is happening is what has changed about it. Everything that you thought was solid, what was good, is now up in the air, and you're wondering where it's going to land. What's going to happen?
Yeah. I have always believed that a sense of compassion and united humanity is shared by everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently not. The world has gone stark raving mad.
And because it's a page, the thing I think about Page is there is a youthfulness about it. And this is almost like it's what's happening is suddenly you're you're going through your teenage years.
It's like I'm naive to think that way. I'm being challenged because I'm naive to think that everybody has the same moral compass or care or
Well, and with that, I mean, and here's the thing about that is when you're feeling that way, the challenge is, well, it's not the way I thought it was. What else isn't the way I thought it was? It's because a page, in my opinion, a page needs to go out into the world and really figure out what's going on and how they fit into the world. That's why teenagers sometimes can be not fun to be around, because they're supposed to be trying to figure out who they are in the world.
Experimental, sort of.
Yes. Oh, and Jacqueline said, so does ego. So, and Richie Longmantero has arrived. So what has changed? You're a bit disillusioned, or let me say it this way: you're a lot disillusioned.
Yeah,
you're very, very disappointed at this point. I would say you're almost wanting to isolate yourself in your room, close all the blinds, listen to The Cure, watch the film noirs,
curl up with a box of See's candy. Does that sound like it has some potential?
That sounds like it's really, really, that sounds really perfect, because when we go from this, what you thought was a foundation is suddenly not. And now it's like, oh my gosh, it really isn't the way I thought it was. And everything that you have been working on for yourself and thinking, if I work on this for myself, it's going to impact the rest of the world in a little bit of a way. There's a bit of a disappointment about that. So, and here's the nice thing about this is what has changed about your faith. If there's something that you want to change and to have it be different, this is a good opportunity to do that. Because you're looking at all of these different things. What is it? What could be? What is not the way I thought it was? Well, how is it now? What does it look like when I put it together in a different way?
Gerald, don't you think this is interesting in the context of the fact that I have been doing all these series about different philosophical points of view, religious groups? Isn't that interesting? Very interesting.
Very, very interesting. And the fact that you were able to boil down all of the religions to love one another says a whole lot, because that's what the expectation is. There comes a warning with this. This is what has changed about your faith. Do not lose that innocent trust, and that trust that things will work.
Okay, I agree. I hear you.
Yes, Helen hears me, but that's really hard to take, especially.
I'm digesting. Yeah.
Yes. So, okay. So let's look at what needs to change about my faith. All of the things that you never want to hear a tarot reader do when they're reading for. Oh, isn't that?
I know you. I love the sound of that.
I've never
gasp in horror
that before. Yeah. So what needs to change about your faith? This is the Two of Pentacles with the Five of Wands embedded in it.
Oh, I hear that message loud and clear, Gerald.
Yep. Because this faith is oftentimes an inward experience. People don't know. I mean, if people were to look at me, they would and interact with me, they would have no idea that this is what I'm experiencing, unless it's something that I say, I put out there. And so with this, here's the great thing about the Five of Wands for me, Helen, and having it in there, embedded in the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is about balance. it is about the movement, the natural rhythms, and balance out of the cognitive dissonance. Yeah, Bobby Sarkon, I would know. Of course you would, Bobby. Sure you would. But what this really says to me, Helen, is there's something boiling, not boiling, there's a movement of energy shifting within you, and you're not exactly sure what to do with it yet. It's almost like it's bubbling. And the Five of Wands for me is oftentimes about an exchange of energy.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily mean to have a battle. It just means that you have to stand your ground, get some understanding, figure out how it all works, what it looks like now. And coming from here, where we've got this foundation with a 10 in it, which is a 14, with a page with a 7, which is an 18 or an 18-9, and with a 2 and a 5, it's a Chariot, it's a 7. This could be an opportunity for you to now I'm distracted by Maru's comment. Do you art? It can help you level. Do you do art?
I have creative outlets. I knit quite a bit. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So what this is telling me, Helen, is when we're looking at this is what needs to change. Understand that this energy exchange and this energy within you can still be balanced. It's just adding fuel to the ability to balance.
I'll tell you, when you put those cards down, something jumped out at me right away. I feel like that's a message not to judge. If you look at the trying to decide that decision-making process going on, what's it going on about? It's overridden by this dissension and fighting and carrying on. And the emotion in the background, the water in the background, the message that I get looking at that is to find compassion for the people who appear to be the most contentious and the ones causing the most unbalance.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you have compassion for them?
I don't
know. How do you give them grace?
Yeah.
And if I could bottle that, I would be a very wealthy person.
Look at all the families and friend groups that have been divided in the past 8 years. And there seems less and less stable common ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult. Yes. And I think we've all been challenged with that. You know, have had a lot thrown at us.
Yes.
You know, with COVID and people dying or being incapacitated and what it's done to people economically, and then families separated, political unrest separating people, the insecurity that it presents. I mean, now you know why that first set of cards there. Now you know.
Yeah, that's it really.
Yeah,
it really is
it's just an awful lot to cope with. Yeah.
And Maru added, do you art? It can help level. It needs to be an immediate expression of your emotions, brush to paper.
I write.
Yes, I was going to say pen to paper.
Yeah, I write.
Pen to paper. So, and yes, every coin has 2 sides. And because you've so far out of 3 cards, 2/3 of them are, well, out of 6 cards, 2 of them are pentacles.
I think it's interesting, but if you think about it from astrology, aren't pentacles the earth?
I believe yes.
And I'm an earth sign, and I am extreme earth sign. Yeah, I'm a Taurus, but I'm like terminally Taurus. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And so interesting, Gerald. I love how these work together. It's beautiful. It's great.
So I do find it interesting is it's like this person, if we were to build a picture, This person has hoarded their pentacles. This person has, the page has actually brought it up and is holding it out. And the 2 is balancing that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there's a great need to balance that. So
like a real challenge to a sense of groundedness and security. And you try to offer compassion, and this is what you get.
Yes.
Interesting, very interesting cards.
And Bobby does bring up a good point. Every coin has 3 sides. The rim is the outside. So
oh, right.
So okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull 2 cards for do this and avoid this.
Okay, that's good.
So okay, so do this. Okay, boom. It is the Empress inset with the world.
Oh, interesting.
So you know, when I see the Empress, I think of the divine feminine.
Mm-hmm.
And the importance of oh, and the need to go back to the matriarchy, because you know, when the matriarchy was there, come for me YouTube, everything seemed to flow a little bit better because people understood and they did more things. So what you need to do, I mean, well, we have 2 major arcana from the same deck. So the world and inset into the Empress.
Yeah.
The world is in your control. It is important for you to all right, I'll say it. Your ability to hang on, I'm checking my wording.
Oh, don't worry about what you say to me. It's, you know.
Well, no, I'm worried about them because I don't want to put put them, my spirit team or whatever, the ones that are talking to me. Get this right, Gerald. It's like the Empress is saying, stand up for what you believe in for the world, not just for yourself. It is time for you to wield the strength of the divine feminine. And you know, as an Empress, when you're looking at a garden, what needs to be pulled and what needs to be tended and when to do it.
That's true. That's true. And put it into a larger perspective. This is global.
Yes. Oh, definitely global. What you need to avoid is you need to avoid the Hermit with the Ace of Cups.
Oh my God.
And
a little too much navel gazing. Is that what it's saying?
Well, not too much navel gazing and not spending too much time thinking you are the only one who has these feelings.
Oh,
you are a deep thinker. And it is important. Okay, so this one, to answer your question, Timmy, this is the do this card. Do the Empress with the world inset.
Right.
Avoid this is the Hermit and the Ace of Cups. Avoid getting all up inside yourself and to only be thinking about yourself instead of thinking globally. To think, because it's almost like this is an exact opposite of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is, honor the way you're feeling, but if you wallow and you navel gaze, it's not going to be helpful, because this isn't about just you. Your faith isn't just about you. It's what your faith does to the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm. I had this conversation with somebody we both know, I'll tell you later, the other day, and we were doing the Eeyore, that would be me, versus Pollyanna, the other person. And this person was trying to talk me down because I do tend to see the cup half empty. I really do. Mm-hmm. And it gets verified and validated all the time, unfortunately. But my argument was, I'm not doing this because I'm freaked out for myself. I truly believe that if anybody suffers anywhere, we all bear that responsibility.
Yep.
We all suffer. I
Yes.
believe that. And I can't pretend that I don't think about the guy that got shipped off to El Salvador, or the people that just got arrested this morning, or the judge that was hauled out of her courtroom in handcuffs. All of these things, I take them personally. I can't not think about them,
Yeah.
And so I almost feel like maybe I'm doing too much introspection and too much compassion identifying.
Well, and you said you reminded me of the meaning of the word compassion. And would you remind all of the people watching what the word
suffer together.
To suffer together. So, and Maru said, I see the hermit as a leader in spirit, not just an isolationist.
Oh, that's kind. I like that. Thank you.
Well, and I totally love the idea of, I'm a big fan of the idea of when one of us succeeds, we all succeed. So we should be spending time lighting our own way, celebrating ourselves, because other people then can see from me, because I'm lighting my way, but I'm also lighting other people's way around me. So
exactly. And I think it's important to remember that we have an obligation to one another, and none of us ascends until everybody is ready.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter if you're doing your work, you have to help other people do their work.
Yes. I'm going to be really blunt and say, don't be a petty bitch. If your emotions get hurt, don't be petty about it. Honor them, move them on.
That's interesting. Yeah. I do tend to, hold a grudge, shall we say?
I don't know. I don't know about you, but I've never held a grudge.
I know. It's difficult to be this perfect.
Yeah.
Really hard.
It really is.
Challenge.
I mean, yeah. And Maru says he's a hermit because he's dedicated
to the study.
I love that. And this is where, I think it's really interesting, because doing this, remembering the big picture and the whole world, and also not just focusing on yourself, focus on the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And so, are you curious about what the current state of your faith is?
Well, I'm always trying to figure it out.
Okay. Well, how about this, kids? We have the 10 of Cups with the 3 of Wands embedded in it. The current state of your faith.
That's so positive.
It really is. And
who would have guessed?
Well, you know what? I would have guessed that, because we have the Empress with the World saying, do this, do the hard things. And also because of the other things that you've been doing, with the Page of Cups and the Page of Cups and the 7 of Cups, right?
Yeah.
You're dreaming. Well, what has happened is now you actually, all of your wishes fulfilled. And
it's a bright future in those 2 cards.
Yes, it's a very bright future. And also, I would say it is important to, as the future state of your faith, Helen, it is an important thing for you to remember that your passion drives this so that it can manifest fully. These 3 little wands are really, that's a lot of power.
I never thought of it that way. I always think of those as, you're planning your long-term activities. You're planning what you're going to do in the future. But that rainbow of cups, is such a promise of love and compassion for the future. That's reassuring. Thank you, Gerald.
You're
It's
welcome.
very reassuring.
Yes. And, and there's this idea of fluid. Once I know better, I can do better.
Yeah, it's getting to that point, right? That's the
Yes.
challenge.
And 3 logs make a solid
fire.
and I love that, because in this, we have a 3, we have a 3 here, we have a 4 here, we have a 2, we have a 3 with the Empress. So this is the start of something new, and start of a different way for you to engage with your faith. And I actually think this is part of what you need to do. You needed to have this upset, because things now have to be different.
Well, I think this is true for most people who would be watching this. I think of 2020 as sort of the start of all of it, really. The 4 years before that were bad enough, but 2020 was really the crux, right?
Yes.
And what did all of us get presented with? Enforced introspection.
Yep.
I feel like, all other things aside, all other factors we're not going to talk about, it was an opportunity to look inward, get our heads straight, figure out what our values were, figure out what our goal, our path was going to be, where we stood about things. And we took it to more or less, well, here I go judging, right? Some people never did learn another language like they planned on doing.
And some people still were not able to make sourdough bread. Like me, I finally broke up with sourdough.
My oldest daughter learned how to make sourdough bread. Her sourdough bread it's like work of art. It's unbelievable. She actually took it to the ultimate, and she also learned how to do macrame.
Oh, yes, yes.
She got contacted by a company who makes that thread, or whatever it's called. Because I guess she was showing people her work on social media. And they said, listen, we love what you're doing so much. We'll send you all the free supplies you need if you let us use your things in our ads.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Creativity. There's so much truth to that. Look what's behind you.
Oh, yes. This is a piece of art that a friend of mine quilted for me. Beautiful. It's called The Universe of Roy G. Biv, and I love it. So
it's beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so I do have to say, Tony is here and has said, Gerald, what WT diddly birds have you done with the Deviant Moon? And because Tony is a big fan of the Deviant Moon, as am I. And I'll tell you what I did is I actually bought a separate copy of it.
I'm going to have to get these cards.
I have circle punched it so it is able to infuse other decks and other cards that I read. So now it plays well with others. I did not do I did not do anything horrible, so I wasn't ready for that.
This was wonderful, though, because there's such a layer of nuance to it. I loved it. That was great. Yeah. Thank you so much, Gerald. It's astounding how accurate those cards were.
Well, thank you.
Now I've got performance anxiety. I have to do your cards, and I'm thinking, uh-oh.
No performance anxiety. I invited you. There was a reason I invited you for this good topic. So
what was the reason?
Because I knew you would be able to do this for me.
Oh! I thought because you wanted to tell me what the cards were yelling at you. No. So thank you so much. I really enjoy it. I never ever read my own cards. Mm-hmm. And I've rarely had cards read for me. Isn't that interesting? Rarely.
See, I think that's one of those things that that's why I like to do readings for readers, because we get what it's like to have others do readings for us and to have that conversation. It's a great slice. So
it's fascinating because it absolutely stimulates a whole new train of thought and a conversation. I love it. It's great. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. So you can
All right,
see you can see the turmoil I'm in. That's for sure. That is so for sure.
You know, and breathe. Deanna and Circle Punches has a lot to answer for. And you know, Tony, I could have you come on and we can do something with this.
Oh, it's so valuable though. I mean, what you will not sacrifice for art. I mean, it's worth it. It was very interesting.
Yeah. So good job, Gerald. Has a lot of tigers on at that single moment. Well, you know, it's okay.
Do I understand what that means?
I'm not quite sure, but it's Tony, so I can almost guarantee it's insightful and humorous.
Oh, you're lucky you put it that way. Okay. So I've already given this some thought, some meditation.
Yes.
And so let's see and I'm going to do a Celtic cross because that's what I always do.
Love it.
So a lot of these questions will sort of just present themselves based on the position of the card.
Yeah. When she jumped, when she got, an email from me I'll be meditating about you today. And I'm like, what? So.
In my dreams, Gerald. Okay. So this is so interesting. What's going on with you?
Yes.
Very interesting. So at the heart of this is just
put it out there. I can take the video down.
Well, I'm not holding back. I'm trying to understand, So I'll tell you what first comes to mind, but I don't know if it doesn't quite feel right. So I got the 10 of Pentacles crossed by the 3 of Wands, and you're gonna laugh at how many similar cards we got. The 3 of Wands, and I'm thinking, is there something going on? Is some concern about the future, your family, or family relationships, or?
No, but I would say part of that is the think of the 10 of Pentacles as ancestral lineage and
that's
ancestral power, but not of the spiritual nature, not necessarily biological family. Because
I know you talk about having spirit guides. My spirit guides are not speaking to me. They haven't for a very long time. No, I'm kidding. But so you're having some little not disagreement, but maybe, I don't know, problem with them?
We are having heated discussions. I use the idea of adolescence and being a teenager. I'm pushing back on what I have always known or what was always expected of me. And
so you're kind of a rejection of the legacy that you have of philosophy or belief or your confidence in the future of how things are going and how they will go. There's a sense of challenge to that foundation. I hate to use the word because the foundation is also a position here, but there's a challenge to that of some sort. And you're looking to the future and not it's feeling unstable or not rock solid.
Yes, especially when it's like, okay, what do I want to keep doing on YouTube? And what makes me happy? I like doing creative things, and that brings me a lot of joy. So there'll be an interesting idea of this legacy, because just because people have always done it this way, do they need to keep doing it this way? or is it time to change?
Well, that's interesting because look at the card you got in the atmosphere. So this is sort of setting the scene, setting the flavor of the environment of what you're struggling with. And I do read reversals, but sometimes I read them as an opposition, and sometimes I read them as an intensification. And sometimes I look at them as two sides of the same coin. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you got the Six of Swords reversed in the atmosphere. You feel like you're being hindered from making progress.
Mm-hmm.
What that progress is, I don't know. Is that maybe creative progress, as you were saying? Do you just not feeling that it's sparking joy, you know?
Yeah.
And if you reverse it, you want to move forward. You want things to change and you want to make things move forward.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this sense of being hampered.
Mm-hmm.
In the larger scope of things.
Yes.
What you just said what this foundation card is. You said something about what's allowed on YouTube, or
what's expected, just
what's
because
expected.
we've done something.
The Queen of Swords. So to me, the Queen of Swords is a little cold, a little. Oh, this is not the Queen of Swords. This is Justice. Justice.
Okay.
So let me think about this a minute. You've got this feeling of being hampered. Well, I think I can put it in 2 words. No, 3 words. A contraction in a word. It's not fair. You're feeling stymied, and you're looking for the answer, the guidance. You're using your brain to find the intellectual answer to what the solution is, but you're trying to find a balance. You're trying to find a balance between doing what you do and doing what you think you need to do. Mm-hmm. So are people putting expectations on you that you don't want to meet?
No, that's just me. That's me putting
expectations. You're putting expectations on yourself.
Yes. And you know, I know that's hard to believe, everybody. That I would have very high expectations of myself. I'm going to be humorous here. Many people know I'm an overachiever, and I have been getting very clear messages from readings that I've had done. Is just people are like going, you have to protect your energy, Gerald. You're putting a lot out there, but you're not taking time to do energy for yourself. I'm taking care of others rather than taking care of me.
Balance.
It's like the 2 of Pentacles in your card.
Well, that's why you got the 7 of Swords. I looked at that and I thought, what can you get away with? What can you okay, look at how he's got all these swords crammed under his elbow. They get the feeling of things ready to fall to the ground, almost like juggling too many balls at the same time. Not the 2 of Pentacles, but like a million balls at the same time.
Yes.
Trying to handle too much at once. Trying to, okay, so overachiever. But this implies, and this is interesting to me, maybe I don't know you as well as I thought I did. This implies sort of a little bit of a sly, sneaky, what can I get away with kind of an attitude. I don't know why you would have that kind of an attitude. Are you challenging yourself beyond your capabilities, or?
I think part of it is I'm not challenging myself enough, because I like a good challenge.
You do so much though.
Well, but see, you know, I talked about this when I've done creative stuff. Setting limitations is creatively very liberating for me, because if somebody were to say, create a fabric landscape, Gerald, my brain shuts down because there's so much. If somebody were to say, create a fabric landscape that is 11 by 17 based upon one of these photographs, I can go, oh, I can do that. I can knock that out of the park.
Yeah, you need imposed parameters. Otherwise, your mind goes in 8 million different directions. Yeah, I get that. So let's see. We've talked about kind of where you are and kind of why. Maybe that's what has changed. In other
Well,
words,
and
why?
the other thing is sometimes there, that the book Big Magic talks about creative ideas. They're also shopping around for people to help create them. So that's why a whole bunch of scientists, discover something similar within a very
At the
close
same time,
time frame. Yeah, because those creative ideas, and part of what it is I'm not leaving enough space for my creative ideas to get the follow through that they deserve, because I'm stretching myself a little thin. I'm doing things that I'm like going, all right, I can do this. I know how to do this. It's easy.
Well, I think that's reflected here. It's that almost an embarrassment of riches, and trying to do all these plans for the future, but it's become a problem more than a gift,
Yeah.
But I don't worry about you. I feel like you are inherently so creative and gifted and confident. I think that you're going to get a grip. You're going to figure out how to do it. But look what you need. We both got this card for different reasons. I think maybe it's time to step back just a little bit and give yourself the permission to reevaluate and find out what your priorities are, what matters the most to you. Prioritize all this stuff. Now, I'm not clear entirely what it is that you're struggling with. Are you struggling with too many irons in the fire? You just have so many, and I think this may be what this is. So many ideas, so many plans and projects and potential ability. It can be held to be talented. So many abilities that you just can't narrow that focus. Narrow the focus.
I like that, because with the hermit in the birth numerology, I am a hermit by my number. My number is
you're kidding. Oh my God.
Boom.
That's too much. And it's in the environment, I think what this means, the four of wands. This is what I got when I meditated earlier, and I thought, well, that's weird. You need to spend a little bit more time socializing, relaxing, celebrating, enjoying things, visiting with people. It doesn't have to be a mad, crazy party. You don't have to go to a rave, but you can sit and have tea with somebody. You need to spend some time like outside of your own head.
Basically what you're saying is I need to get the stick out of my ass and just go out and have a good time.
Yeah.
And relax that A, B, and C don't happen in that order all of the time.
Yeah. You're taking things too seriously and could probably benefit from less of a schedule and less regimentation and fewer expectations and plans and projects and that sort of thing. But I'll tell you in a minute what I'm looking for and what I don't see here, but maybe I do. Okay, so hopes and fears. The King of Cups. Emotion. I get the sense of somebody who is enormously large-hearted, big-hearted, and has a little trouble saying no to people, maybe. Like overcommitting and sure, I'll do your show with you, and sure, I'll create this thing for you, and just constantly committing to so many things that you're unwittingly putting pressure on yourself. But you need to be reminded it's coming from such a good place. Such a good place.
Yeah.
But the fear is you overdo it.
Well, yes, and with the King of Cups, the King of Cups can be very stoic because they have to be so mature. They you don't I'm a bit out of balance as a King of Cups. I'm not having those silly moments that fill the cup regularly.
Well, that's
Yeah.
kind of what this is saying.
Yeah.
And it goes hand in hand with this. You know, rather than regimenting your life, put it into balance a bit more. But look at the outcome. You get the King of Pentacles crossed by the Four of Swords. You need to back off a little bit. You have the potential. You have the gifts. You have the abilities. And you have the opportunities. However, you need to back off a little bit and not maybe utilize them all at the same time, you know, not exercise them all at the same time. When I meditated on you, I got something that, and I got it a couple of different times during the process of like about 20 minutes. And I thought, this is not what I would expect. I'm going to say it anyway. But first, I want to do these Lenormand cards to see if the card that I saw in my meditation pops up. And I'll tell you the truth. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Okay. And so a couple of people have been adding, Tony said solstice celebration with the family.
Is that a thing that's happening?
Yes, it's a thing that's happening.
Well, Gerald.
Yes. You know, I get hit by a clue by 4. You know, lighten up a little. Yes, I have always been needing to lighten up a little through my entire life. And Jacqueline says, glimmers, G, focus on the glimmers. So those are those little moments and of gratitude, things that are really, really helpful. So yeah, that's, and next thing, Helen, by the way, Helen's probably going to tell me that I need to meditate and I need to journal.
No. I'll tell you, I got a couple of really interesting cards together.
Okay.
When you see this together, I think this is a reflection, just, you're going to laugh, of you, the book. I mean, come on. If that's not you, I don't know what is. Okay, former librarian. But then we get the letter. And oftentimes it's about contracts, but I'm going to extrapolate from that and say obligations. Too many obligations. You're just mired. This is you. This is the obligations. Here's the suggestion, okay? The birds. The birds are about communication, socialization, socializing, you know, community, getting together. Birds, you know, they're gossiping, foolishness, foolish twittering, you know, gossiping.
Yes.
And then that's your opportunity. You have a chance. It's a second chance. But let me tell you what I kept getting when I meditated, and I thought, this can't be right. I don't know what your circumstance is in this regard. Maybe it's completely stupid. I got a couple of different times the dog. And the dog is about loyalty and companionship and, you know, but I took it quite literally. Do you have a pet?
Our Maddie passed away about 6 months ago. So
I'm sorry to hear that. And it might be time to maybe think about distracting yourself with something else to love, something to ground you and be a source of companionship and like an external to bring you out of yourself, you know, a little bit. I kept getting the dog. I kept thinking, that is so odd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe, I don't know, if you don't want to get a pet, maybe go volunteer.
Yeah.
And maybe that, you know, it's institutions. Maybe you need to get out and just break from, I hate to say this, we don't want you to do this, but, you know, break from so much commitment to what you're doing right now. Change it all up.
Yeah. I actually think is Maddie suggesting the need to get out as well? Yeah, Maddie was the name of our last dog that died, and Tony was like, "Good, go out and ground by a tree." Yeah, it sounds like a good message. Just like
a message, yeah. But you know what else I got earlier when I was thinking about you is like, what is the state of your faith? And I was asking, like, what is the state of your faith? And I got kind of the hairs on the back of my neck went up when you were doing my cards, because you said the exact same sentence about me that I got about you, that you were disappointed, that your faith in the direction the world is going is shaken.
Yes.
You're disappointed. Yeah.
I am, and that is part of what I've been doing for my self-care, is limiting the amount of social media that I get, and I'm checking different places to find news and information. And I have turned down the faucet, so it's not like drinking out of a fire hose. I'm drinking slowly. I'm taking a sip. And
I think that's that Four of Swords, step back from what's going on right now, your expectations, your engagement with all of this stuff, and maybe party a little bit, have a better time. Let me tell you, I've been doing the same thing. And I found a couple of channels on YouTube. Late at night's the only time I ever have to watch that. And so I want it to be like 8 minutes, 10 minutes, something fast, because I just don't have time. And I found this channel that is so ridiculous. It's wonderful. It's hilarious. So it's this young woman who left her corporate job to become a garbage picker, a garage sale person, and with a friend, she'll often go to an auction and buy a storage unit, but they get the ones nobody else wants. They'll bid $5 because they show them a photograph and people look at it and go, oh, there's nothing in there. And so then he's got a van and they go through everything. And the videos that they make are just, oh, pull the door open, look at the tubs, let's go see what's in this tub. And they pull them out and talk about it. You would think that would be mind-numbingly boring. It's fascinating. It makes you think, what is the story of the person who had this?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I love that sort of thing. Yeah.
And then she lives back east. And apparently people do this a lot back east. When it's garbage day, they put things on the curb. Like mostly you would take it to the dump, but you don't have to. You just put it out on the curb. People take it. So she drives around looking for interesting piles next to the trash can. You would think, oh my God, it's so interesting. Yeah. And then she'll go into these old houses that are having, estate sale. Someone has died and the house is chock full of stuff, and they open it up to like a garage sale, and it's very distracting. A little bit of a trip down memory lane, some of the stuff they find, and it takes you out of your own head for a while. And I think that's the important part. I'm trying to find her. I'm trying to get a hold of her and invite her to come talk.
Oh, that would be a great show. Maru said treasure hunting mixed with anthropology.
Yeah, and history.
And history, yes.
So interesting. And she has a very compelling manner. She's a little witty, she's kind-hearted, she's an interesting person. It's really fun. Yeah. It's called Paper and Moose. Don't ask me why. That's my first question to her. But it's called Paper and Moose. And it's
as in the animal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, and not the dessert.
No. Okay. The animal. Yeah. It's really interesting. Yeah. No, well, probably just as well. But I would suggest that for you, Gerald, that it's time to maybe just change the scenery a little, change the pace, get a distraction.
Yeah. I am focusing. I'm July is going to be different for me. I'm not going to be doing as many reading shows. And in fact, I'm probably not going to do any shows where I'm doing readings publicly, but I really like having conversations with people and exploring. And I think that could be a lot of fun. And I want to try, I got this nice little camera that Helen is all jealous of, so that I could actually do some sewing online and some crafting projects. So
that's wonderful. There's another great channel that you reminded me talking about the camera thing. There's a channel called ASMR Historian, and it's this guy who tells the story of a particular topic in history, but visually you never see him. I've never seen him. Visually, what you see is his hands, like you were doing, and he is unpacking a treasure chest that has little chopsticks in it, or he's dealing cards and slowly turning them over.
Sure.
It's for people who are overstimulated, sensory overstimulation. Yeah. That part of it I'm not interested in, but I'm fascinated by his narratives and the stories that he tells. They're so well researched. But that's the kind of thing you're looking for, right? Something just you yourself to do something completely different from what you've been doing.
Yeah. Tony brought up that, she asked, has YouTube become your social circle and family over external influences? Here's the interesting thing. I retired at the end of December of 2019.
Thank God, huh?
And then I was taking the winter off just to relax and reset. Well, then, and then suddenly the world went into self-isolation, and I haven't been going out a lot. I haven't seen a lot of people. So yes, Tony hit that really on the head. There's a lot of, this is what I do for socialization. It's not all I do. I enjoy it. It's great. I mean, I've met people around the world.
That's my argument. My kids give me a hard time, because of health reasons. We're still pretty much quarantining. 5 years. 5 years, Gerald. It should explain a lot, right? But it hasn't been as onerous as it might sound, because yes, it's not face-to-face in person. But like you said, I have met people all over the world. I've made friends everywhere. And it is legitimate friendships. We know about each other's personal lives. We interact and we're concerned more than a lot of people I've known for 40 or 50 years.
Yes.
But I think these two cards, I want to go back to your cards. I think these two cards are so optimistic and so significant. You're a person of compassion, and you will find a way. You will find, be victorious sounds so hokey, but you will find the action that takes you in the right direction.
Yes, and that's the Six of Wands, correct?
Six of Wands and King of Cups. I think those are, and then this is you, which is ridiculous.
I think that's hilarious, because I think it is important for me. Also, the Six of Wands reminds me the importance of celebrating small successes and being willing to embrace those enthusiastically.
There's a repeating pattern in here too, Really, you do need to maybe it's time to leave the house a little bit. I don't know. I wouldn't give that advice because I'm not taking it, but yeah.
So
you had this paradigm shifting moment as far as work goes at a time when the world had a paradigm shifting moment.
Oh yes.
Interesting.
Well, and I also think for me, part of it is what I was expecting to happen on YouTube hasn't, because I don't get a lot of people requesting readings from me. I love doing readings.
Tell me about it, Gerald.
I love
Tell
it.
Me about
and
it.
So I'm actually, part of what I was going to do is I was just going to say I'm not going to do them anymore.
Oh, well, so, that pains me.
Well, and of course that could be the extreme of me, Helen, to where I was like, well, if nobody wants what I'm selling, I'm not going to sell it anymore. No. Stop.
Well, I'll show them. No, but if you don't have that many requests, why stop offering them? It's not that many anyway.
It's a good point. That's a good point.
All right.
It's a very good point.
I theoretically do personal readings, but I've been being much more cautious about putting myself out there because of, current events. Because keep in mind, not only am I one of those devil worshipping tarot readers, I'm an immigrant, and we're not but best beloved these days. So I'm just sort of being more tentative about things.
Yeah.
But if you don't become a Madison Avenue ad man about yourself, it's really hard. It's really hard.
Well, and then the other thing is taking more time. By the way, you're like the fourth reader to get the Four of Swords for me and to tell me the same thing.
Hint, hint, hint.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's time you have high expectations of yourself.
Come on, put the toys back in the pram. In theory, readers rarely need readings. Well, I get mine. And
I almost feel like, okay, this is heresy, okay? But for me, I almost feel that I personally am not really meant to know specifics, that's kind of like having the answer sheet before you take the test.
Yes.
I feel like the challenge is to figure it out. And I'm not really, I guess I'm old, I'm not worried about, I in the sense that I'm not worried about jobs in the future, career, and I'm not worried about my children. I mean, I am, but not, my children are adults. I'm working, but semi-retired, and all those things are not pivotal, central in my life. I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to get good with my soul here. I can feel that cold air on the back of my neck.
Well, yeah, it is about that faith. And, I'm not saying that I'm not getting any readings or anything like that. It is what it is. And I haven't been promoting and all that stuff. It's okay. Making more time for amazing things makes room for a lot of great and astounding things. I mean, I'm going to be able to, I really do want to do more creative stuff on the YouTubes and show that, because I think I like having conversations with people. I like to understand why people's brains work the way they do, because I learned so much.
Yeah.
I learned so much, and I'm looking forward to having more conversations with people and going, and not necessarily doing readings, but just looking at, okay, what is this card in relation to this card? What does that do? Okay. So Helen, by the way, Tony says, I agree with Helen on this point for me personally. Plus, there's not a lot going on. Life is steady, and I like it like that.
Oh, Antoinette, I'm so with you. I'm boring too. I like peace and calm. Listen, I had decades of a house of chaos. Small children, a lot of kids, and all of their friends lived here, and I was, Girl Scout leader, mother of this, leader of that. I mean, it was ridiculous. Talk about not knowing when to back off from things, right? This is wonderful. I can go to the bathroom alone.
There you go.
Thank you very much. I like it. It's peaceful. Yes. It's,
Oh, yes. So one of the things that I like to do sometimes for readings that I've done for someone is it is what's a takeaway for Helen from this reading. So I pulled you two cards, or I pulled you a card, and I got,
great.
Well, hang on. Death with the Page of Swords. It is an interesting idea, because now you're thinking about all of the things that we talked about. You're going to be able to start to use your words differently and engage them differently. And I love this image from the Light Seers Tarot. There are light bulbs, and this page is being lifted by light bulbs.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, interesting. Oh,
that
interesting.
Is
light bulbs.
Exactly what it is. So you are there is an opportunity for transformation. And new ideas. And I know that's what I'm going to get from this. So it's like,
well, Gerald, I have made peace with the fact that when I stopped being aggressively marketing, the whole tarot thing, after the election in November, I had a drop off in engagement of people watching my videos. And yet that small kernel of people who are still interested are really loyally interested because they're interested in the topics that I cover.
Yes.
And I've decided that this is completely self-indulgent. I'm on I hate this word. I think of The Bachelor, you know. I'm on a journey to try to understand where it is I'm going on a universal thing. And happy to take everybody along with me. So if I look something up and I decide to do a little report, it's like doing a book report, right? And presenting it. If I think it's important, I'm going to do it. And if people are interested, I'm delighted. If nobody watches it, I kind of snicker, but I continue to do it. You know, I just feel like, remember I said earlier, feeling called to do certain topics.
Yes. Well, and I also, I have I started off this channel actually doing flip throughs for cards of decks. And I still get views on those. And I still collect tarot decks. I like
So
that.
were you being sent cards and asked to just present? No, you did it yourself?
Yeah, I did it myself. And so it's just one of those things. I like being able to show that. And then I love doing a deck casual where I could have somebody join me and we talk about a tarot deck. And sometimes I get gutsy enough to invite the creator on to join in. So there's this snapshot in getting into the creator's brain. I love that.
Did I ever tell you about Nate's cards that he did, the Mystical Tarot of the Saints?
Yes, this set that I have right here.
Yes. So I get this email out of the blue. And my kids really were apprehensive about me doing YouTube because I'm a techno idiot and I fully embrace it. And like, I don't do any other social media. As a matter of fact, I didn't know YouTube was considered social media. I was bragging, I never do social media. And my daughter said, well, what, did you get rid of your YouTube channel? So anyway, I get this email out of the blue. Some person, I have a deck of tarot cards that I created, and if you send me your address, I'll mail them to you. And I was like, okay. My daughters made me swear, me promise I would not give out personal information. So I got back in touch and I said, who the hell are you? I don't know who you are.
Oh yeah. Yes.
My address. I said, I'll make a deal with you. I will look your cards up on the internet. If I like what I see, I'll buy them. And if I still like them, why don't you come on my channel and talk about them? And, you know, the rest is history. We're like siblings separated at birth, you know.
Nate is a great person.
Wonderful person. Yeah, wonderful. And it just goes to show you that this is an example of how this whole thing brings people together.
Yes.
Because where is he? Somewhere on the other end of the planet, right?
Yes.
So interesting. And the opportunity to look at those cards, beautiful cards, which I hope you use every day because they are based on the Catholic saints.
Well, you know, what was really, I mean, his cards are lovely. The book is even better.
I agree. I love that book. It's such a good book. It's well written. It's got so much packed into it. And I like the little rituals.
Yes, he's got a little bit of a ritual.
Yeah.
And so, what's great about it is maybe you know, I already did a deck casual with him, Jane the Secret Tarot, and Jamie from Wandering Mountain Bardic Path. Maybe the three of us should do something, you, me, and Nate, and talk about it.
I would love to.
Like that. So,
and you have to promise me at every opportunity you get him to say Pete Hegseth's name, because he can't pronounce his H's, and I love it. It's so funny.
Are you the oldest in the relationship with him as well, Helen?
Oh, of course, I'm older than dirt.
Okay.
Are you kidding? Yes. Yes, it's hilarious. And you know, unlike us, he's a privileged child, the only child. So that's a whole other level of, you know.
That, and we all know that mom and dad stopped when they got it right. They stopped when they had me. So there you go.
Well, we're from the same family, separated by a crowd.
Yes, separated by a crowd.
So
Hi,
funny.
Tanis. Hi, Tanis. So,
I have six younger brothers.
I'm sorry. You're
God
not the
help
only
me.
girl, are you?
Pardon me?
Are you the only girl?
No, I have 5 younger sisters.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, but the brother part was particularly traumatic.
Yeah.
Horrible. Terrible. They once took my bicycle apart and couldn't figure out how to put it back together. Story of my life. Yeah.
So did you take their bicycle apart? And
No, I'm not a vindictive person. I was in high school. I had homework.
oh, yeah, okay. You were a good student.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really was. Yeah. Because it was my ticket.
Yeah, there you go. And Tony says, that's a true Catholic family.
I know. You know how many times so many people will ask me one of two things. Oh, were you Catholic or were you Mormon?
Yeah, that's the question that, we always got. And I have to say, I am very fortunate. I'm very fortunate. My family, we were okay. We had everything we needed. We didn't have everything we wanted, but that's okay.
Okay. I try not to badmouth, but I'll put it this way. Charles Dickens is my favorite writer. Just leave it at that.
Have you ever like tried to channel Charles Dickens?
No, I haven't. Allie got together with somebody else. I don't remember who.
Was that Deborah Lupien?
It might. I bet it was. And they did a channeling. Yeah, it must have been Deborah. A channeling of Charles Dickens. And I didn't want to steal their thunder, but that's pretty cool, huh? Yeah. It was an interesting character.
I just think I listened to the book, The Man Who Invented Christmas. And there's a movie, The Man Who Invented Christmas, which is about Charles Dickens writing A Christmas Carol. And as people who've watched us already know, A Christmas Carol is my favorite story ever written. Good night, Tony.
My favorite Dickens book, too. Marley was dead to begin with. Does that ring a bell?
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's so good. It's so good.
Love that book.
But there was something interesting about it. And as I was watching the movie, I could tell he really loved his wife and he really loved his children.
He was a horrible husband. He probably loved her. I would not deny that. But he was a horrible husband. Do you know what he did? He had like 9 or 10 children. And he just kept her conveniently pregnant. He had a girlfriend.
Oh, geez.
But he spent all of his time. He left the house every evening. And he walked the streets of London all night long. So you have to wonder, bipolar, something going on there. But all of his characters and his plot lines, he got them from walking the streets of London. Yeah. Can you imagine? They all ended up in a debtor's prison because when you went into debt, your whole family went to prison with you. They all went into a debtor's prison.
That's crazy.
It's unbelievable. But he did so much good because he helped to create an expose of the workhouses, and he advocated for orphans. And people are complicated.
People are complicated, and I'm complicated, as you could tell from my reading.
It's interesting because I'm still not clear why you would get a 10 of Pentacles at the core of the issue, because I think of Pentacles, not just from a money point of view. I think of them more as physical things in the world, like material things in the world, and maybe gifts, or it could be legacy. I think you use the word legacy. And that's a good
legacy.
One. Yeah.
And oftentimes for me, when I see the 10 of Pentacles, I think about tradition and ancestors.
Yeah, I think about family inheritance and passing the family narrative. Well, I guess that's tradition. Yeah. Past genealogy. Yeah. Yeah. And
Oh,
so I was
gosh.
wondering, are you on the outs with your family members? Like what?
Not that they've told me.
Well,
Good,
when's the last time they called?
well, I was texting with a sister earlier this week.
Oh,
So, but I'm like, do I? But I think it's also one of those things that my father died on May 30th years ago.
Oh,
So
sorry, it's hard.
you know,
Anniversaries, yeah.
and there are times when, like many of us who've lost a parent or someone really important to us, there are times when I'm just like going, damn it, I wish I could just call them up and go, hey, what's going on? Any idea about this? I'm going to come and visit, sort of thing. So,
I didn't have that kind of relationship with my
Yeah.
parents. Yeah. But here's a question for you. Does the fact that it's the anniversary of his death, does that sort of give you pause to reevaluate your life and think about the direction you're going in? I mean, the passage of time, the frailty of life.
not consciously. So, but I do think that, the idea of this needing to do some balancing and that hermit is that thing. I need to do my hermiting consciously instead of by situation.
Well, and that, the justice thing, it's trying to find balance without overthinking it,
Yeah.
That's hard. Yeah, I think you tend to be
It
like I am too.
is.
Yeah.
Well, and I have very high expectations of myself, so I don't cut myself a break. So
You're retired, Gerald.
I know I'm retired.
It's okay to take a deep breath, sit back, That's my kids don't understand. They'll say to me, Mom, you need to get out more. I haven't heard from you in a couple of weeks. What's going on? And I'll tell them, I have been so busy. Get out more. I don't have time to go. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm not going to a party or something. I've got things to do. But I've been so busy. There's an assumption that if you retire, there's nothing to fill it. It's a void, and there's nothing to fill it. It's the opposite. It provides you the freedom to pursue what you really are interested in.
Yeah. And I believe that part of what is it that I really want to work on, what do I really want to focus on, and what brings me joy is probably where I need to spend some time going, okay, because I have been unsettled since I retired because of the world being unsettled. And so it's like, does that make sense to you?
It does. I understand that you would feel things are on hold, kind of. Is that kind of what you mean?
Well, a bit on hold, but going to work gave some structure to the day. And so I am a person who I work well with a structure. So having lots of shows for YouTube and having regular shows gives me structure. I can do things in between that. Yeah. I can have other things that are structured, not just.
See, I'm the opposite. I've never liked to. If I'd had to work in an office and punch a time card and get up at a certain time and be home, I would have lost my mind. So I never worked in that kind of environment. Oh, okay. I've always been my own boss, set my own to an extent, set my own schedule. And to me, being freed from any of those sorts of responsibilities is so liberating. And I'm not at a loss for what to do with my time. I'm at a loss to find enough time to do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think younger people think if you don't have that externally imposed structure, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And I find it's the opposite. And you probably need to allow yourself to experience that.
I do know that structure works very well for me. I thrive when I have structure because then I can do things in between it. So, and that's
You're
how
trying to
I've always
replicate
been.
having the job by
Yeah.
filling the hours. I mean, I'm so impressed because you always have everything all figured out in the time. And I'm like, are we meeting in an hour? Okay.
Well, and that's something that I enjoy that aspect of my work and doing training and development and helping people be successful. And so that's how I think about the world. And when I am inviting you to join me, I would, yes, here we go. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what I have. I'll see you here. So
maybe you can translate and not give up anything. Maybe you can do YouTube videos where you teach the creative process as you do it. So you're piecing quilts, right?
Yep.
Maybe you can do like demonstration type videos.
I would love that. Yeah, I just got to get the setup. Yeah. And let me rephrase that. Let me own this. I'm working on how to do that successfully so it can be engaging and not too much work for me to be able to do. So.
I find myself constantly stymied by the technology because I've been wanting to do a tarot class. I've been do a workshop type situation. I've been wanting to do live group readings. And every time I try to set that up, I have some bizarre technical situation that prevents it. So I figured out now how to do a live, but not how to do a live for members only. So I figured out a workaround where I can do a live and immediately go into the computer and make it private. Which is stupid, but I don't have access to good technological guidance. There's everybody that could help me lives way too far away. And trying to explain something like that through a screen is almost impossible.
Yeah.
And yes, YouTube has a ton of videos that explains everything. If you speak a mile a minute and you understand the definition of every term used without having to look it up. First sentence, stop, look up 3 words, figure out what that meant, go back, second sentence, look, it's really frustrating, really frustrating. Yeah. But I'm impressed that you have that dexterity with that stuff,
Well, thank you. That multitasking is one of my super talents.
Me too, but not with technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a more Stone Age way.
There you go. Yeah. Well, and that idea of the multitasking is what I'm also hearing from what you've said is do less multitasking and get deeper into the thing upon which I'm working.
4 of Swords and Hermit. Take a minute.
Yep.
Step back. Look at what you really mean, what's important to you, what really moves you, what motivates you, and then reevaluate. You're just going blithely along, busy. And then at the same time, allow yourself to do fun, that has nothing to do with structure and your plan and your schedule and all that stuff. Give yourself some free time to do nothing with people.
Yep.
I think that's what I miss more than anything since COVID is I used to have people come by, friends, one-on-one, would come by. We'd sit for 4 hours and just yak.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And I miss that. That's hard. But what can you do?
Yeah.
My friend died, Gerald. I know I've mentioned him before, my neighbor who was in his 90s.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
died.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, yes and no, because he didn't linger in pain, which was potentially, yeah. And he was ready. I've never met anybody more at peace with, he had a good life, really good life. And he was beloved, just a nice person. Yeah. So I'm waiting for a visitation.
There you go.
He told me he would.
I love that. I want to hear about this.
Oh, you will. I mean, if that happens, you will. Absolutely, because it'd be great validation. But that may there you go. That's looking at the answers before you take the test. That may
Of
not
course.
be
It may
may
not.
not be in the cards, right? Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Helen, thank you very much.
Well, I don't know if I feel like I gave you a lot of new information, but
That's exactly what I was needing.
I think the thing about the dog, that was interesting. And I did not know
That
that
is
you had a
interesting.
pet dog that died in the last 6 months. And
Yeah.
that kept coming and coming and coming. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Well, take that for whatever, you know.
I love it. Yeah.
I do
So-
too. I love that. I think whoever said maybe it was a visitation.
Could be Maddie. Like, get out of the damn house, you idiot.
Or permission to develop a similar relationship and, you know, not feel guilty. And that's hard. Yeah. My husband sent me a picture the other day that he dug up because he's doing the whole photography thing. Sent an old picture from about 2 years ago. 6 little dogs sitting in a row. There's only 2 left.
Aww.
Old age, you know. Yeah. Yeah. We kind of rescue. We're running a nursing home. Yeah.
Wow.
You need to go. I know you do. I'm sorry.
No, this has been wonderful. This has been really helpful, Helen. Thank you. I hope
It has?
I will send you a picture. Yes, it has. You seem surprised.
I am surprised.
I don't know why you wouldn't be surprised. I mean, why it wouldn't
I don't
be helpful.
know. I felt like, well, I'm glad. I'm glad that you feel you got something valuable from it. And I know I did.
Yeah. And I think, you know, for me, it's like others have said, readers oftentimes don't do in-depth readings for themselves. I've been needing to do that. And I oftentimes don't do readings for myself. I have other people do it for me, and then we get a chance to discuss it. So,
oh, I never do. I can't. I maybe twice in my whole life. I can't even remember to do it because I feel too close to the subject matter. You know?
Yeah, that is it for me as well.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
All right.
Love the card situation.
Oh, thank you. And I will send pictures of these for you.
Oh, thank you.
So that you have them.
Thank you.
All
Just
right.
keep showing off, Gerald, you know.
I will
with
keep
your
showing up.
technical prowess.
There you go. All right, everybody. Take care.
Love you, Gerald. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.